What if I told you some of the most jaw-dropping drag race moments didn't happen on the runway? They happened afterward, when the cameras were off and the world was watching anyway. Because when a queen shares that she's trans, it's not just a headline. It changes how fans understand her story, what it costs to show up, and what it means to be seen. And the 6 reveals in this video, each one hits different. Before we jump in, quick note. We're only using what each queen has publicly shared about being trans, in her own words and on her own timeline. No guessing, no gossip, no forcing labels. Drag has always played with gender, but being trans isn't the same thing as performing a character. It's everyday life, how you're seen, how safe you feel, and how you want to be addressed. That's why these reveals matter. Not because they're shocking, but because visibility can be powerful and complicated. Some came out before their season, others after. Each path took courage. With that in mind, we'll go queen by queen, focusing on the moment they shared, how fans reacted, and what changed afterward. And we'll keep it respectful, clear, and fact-based. Valentina. Valentina's reveal hit like a thunderclap because it wasn't framed as drama. On her 34th birthday, May 14, 2025, she posted on Instagram that she'd been transitioning privately for some time now and was ready to say it plainly. She is a transgender woman. The post was shared in both English and Spanish, and she reintroduced herself with an added name, Valentina Shunaxi, signaling this wasn't a rebrand. It was her claiming herself in public. She hinted that pressure was building around her identity, so she chose her birthday to speak on her own terms. If you followed Valentina, you know the fandom has projected a lot onto her. The fantasy, the mystery, the perfect image. But this moment wasn't about perfection. It was about relief and about asking for what she needed. She thanked fans for the love, support, and protection they've given her, and Drag Race sisters celebrated her, turning a personal announcement into a community embrace. Her story has context. Back in 2019, she spoke publicly about identifying as non-binary and using she, her pronouns. So her 2025 announcement doesn't read like a sudden pivot. It reads like a timeline catching up to her truth. And because she's built a career beyond the workroom, acting and hosting, her visibility lands loudly, especially for fans who needed proof that you can grow in public without losing yourself. Jiggly Caliente. Jiggly Caliente's coming out never felt like a moment designed for attention. It felt like someone choosing honesty because silence was starting to hurt more than the risk. In 2016, Jiggly publicly shared that she is a trans woman, explaining that messages from fans, people wrestling with their own gender and fear, pushed her to stop dancing around the truth. When you're a public figure, naming yourself isn't only personal. It's also a signal to someone watching at 2 a.m. that they're not alone. And Jiggly didn't just come out and move on. She kept showing up. She built a career beyond her original Season 4 run. Music, touring, and a recurring role on Pose as Veronica Ferocity, where she brought that same loud heart energy to a scripted world. Then she returned to the Drag Race universe in a different kind of power seat. As a judge on Drag Race Philippines, proudly repping her roots while helping spotlight a whole new generation of talent. Jiggly passed away on April 27, 2025, at age 44, after being hospitalized for a severe infection that led to a leg amputation days earlier. Her family, fans, and fellow queens remembered her as pure joy, a fighter and a trailblazer, someone who made people feel seen. Quick pause. If you want more stories like this told clearly and respectfully, hit like and subscribe. We're staying locked in, and the next reveals only get more layered. Gia Gunn. Gia Gunn's reveal was bold, direct, and very Gia because she didn't ease into it with vague hints or coded captions. Around Transgender Day of Visibility in 2017, she posted a video on Instagram and said she wanted to be visible on purpose. She told fans she identifies as female and is transgender, and she shared that she'd been on hormone therapy for about a year. What made it hit harder is the timing. By then, Drag Race fans had already spent years debating queens' identities like it was sports commentary. Gia didn't ask for permission or approval. She named herself clearly, and then she let the internet do what it always does: react, argue, and eventually adjust. But visibility comes with pressure. Coming out doesn't stop the opinions. It can multiply them. And when Gia later returned to the Drag Race spotlight on camera, she talked about what it feels like to be treated as a competitor and a symbol at the same time, with every move analyzed through a trans lens. That's the deeper layer in Gia's story. She wasn't only sharing news, she was stepping into a role people were going to project onto, whether she wanted it or not. Still, she chose to be seen anyway, and that choice gave many trans fans proof that you can claim your truth loudly, even in spaces that aren't always gentle. LaShauwn Beyond. LaShauwn Beyond is one of those Season 4 Queens fans remember for one thing immediately. This is not RuPaul's best friend race, but off the show, her most important reveal wasn't a catchphrase. After her Drag Race run, LaShauwn publicly came out as a transgender woman. She's often mentioned alongside Jiggly Caliente and Kenya Michaels as Season 4 queens who transitioned after the season aired. The stakes here are subtle but real. LaShauwn didn't build her post-show life on constant visibility. Reports describe her keeping a lower profile, focusing on work behind the scenes, especially design and sewing, while still being part of drag family networks. She's also widely described as the drag mother of Malaysia baby doll Fox, which means her influence lives on in the queens she helped shape. Her story is a reminder that coming out doesn't always look like a headline. It can look like choosing yourself, quietly, and continuing anyway, on her own terms. Peppermint. Peppermint's story is a turning point for Drag Race because she didn't come out after the fact. She entered Season 9 already living openly as a trans woman. Entertainment Weekly called her the first out trans woman to compete on the show, and she spoke about how accepted she felt when she shared that truth with the other queens on camera. What's powerful is the timeline behind it. Peppermint has said she came out as transgender to close family and friends in 2012, years before the workroom. So when she talked about it during the season, it wasn't a new identity, it was a public introduction to something she'd already been carrying. And she drew a clear line. Drag is performance, but her womanhood isn't. That distinction helped a lot of viewers understand that trans identity isn't a twist, it's a life. After Drag Race, her visibility expanded beyond nightlife. In 2018, she made Broadway history by originating a lead role as an out trans woman in Head Over Heels. That was proof her talent wasn't confined to one stage. She's also been firm about boundaries, asking media not to use her birth name, and she's kept speaking up for trans dignity and safety, even when the spotlight gets harsh. Kylie Sonique Love. Kylie Sonique Love's Drag Race arc is full circle in the best way, because her trans visibility didn't arrive as a twist. It unfolded publicly over years. She first appeared on Season 2 as Sonique, and during that season's reunion in 2010, she shared that she is a transgender woman. For a lot of viewers at the time, it was the first time they'd seen a Drag Race contestant say it out loud on TV, and it mattered because the culture wasn't exactly built to handle trans truth with care. Life kept moving, and so did Kylie. When she returned for All-Star 6, she wasn't trying to re-explain herself. She was competing as a seasoned performer with more confidence in who she is and what she wants to show. And then she made history. In 2021, she won All-Star 6, becoming the first openly trans woman to win a US-based season of RuPaul's Drag Race. After the crown, she spoke about how transitioning helped her feel more authentic on stage and off. She also stepped into media, co-hosting the talk show Translation in 2020. That win landed as more than a trophy. It was a signal about longevity, about stepping away, surviving what you have to survive, and coming back with your artistry intact. Kylie's journey shows that trans joy can be glamorous, competitive, funny, and unapologetic without needing anyone's permission. When you line these 6 stories up, you see the real point. There's no single right way to be trans, and there's no single timeline for saying it out loud. Some queens shared it in a post, some on camera, some later and quieter. But each reveal carried stakes because visibility can invite both love and danger. And still, they chose truth. That's not just inspiring, it's culture shifting. Because every time a queen is seen clearly, someone watching feels possible. Thanks for watching, always.